Okay, let's get into it.
Situation in Haiti. 2 questions regarding that. Will a U.S. military presence be necessary to secure the road between Port-au-Prince and the disaster zone for humanitarian aid? And then secondly, does the earthquake in Haiti affect the administration's view that elections should be held there this year?
So on the second question, it's too early to tell what the impact on the political process of the earthquake is. We are in the process of assessing that. On your first question, right now what we're focused on is getting a USAID DART.
Just saw the video with you spilling bullshit about Marcus Luttrell. I really hope you've done your research beyond that stupid article. People like Jocko and other highly respected special force guys wouldn't be friends with him if it was a lie. If there really ain't more to it than the video I saw, you are a really, really sad and weak individual. Hell yeah, brother. Yay, hoorah! Every single Navy SEAL that actually wrote a book is totally not fucking lying about their, exploits in Afghanistan and other places, and that we will totally avoid the actual first-hand accounts from the Afghan people that they worked side by side with, and instead listen to the guys who are, trying to make as much money as possible by greatly exaggerating their actions out there. Hoorah! Do not dismantle my own personal view of the American imperialist forces. These are like basically the Knights of the Round Table for me. Okay? All right, let's get back to this corpse.
Doubt that you might ever recognize them. If you don't ever recognize them, how can you ensure that the president's promise of aid continuing to the Afghan people will be enacted?
Well, so I don't want to get into hypotheticals, but I would point out that there are a range of different diplomatic relationships the United States has with countries around the world, including some very difficult or non-existent relationships with governments where we still provide forms of aid to people. And I will leave it at that because we're not at a point yet where we can speak directly to how things will play out in Afghanistan, but that's at least a partial answer to your question. I know you guys have many more questions, but I think probably your patience with me is also wearing a bit thin. So I will leave it at that and get back to work. Thank you.
Take my question. Thank you.
COVID safe.
You are milking the Taliban more than the U.S.? You're right. 20 years of foreign policy failure, hundreds of thousands of people dead, finally coming to a close in my goddamn lifetime, and I'm actually covering for 3 days in a row, which means I'm milking it, dude. Incredible take, sir. It's like if World War II ended while I was a fucking reporter at the time, and someone came up and was like, I cannot believe you're talking about World War II's end for 3 days in a row. There's more to talk about, like the stevedores. What are you doing here, sir? Why are you milking the end of World War II? Like...
A mix of SIV applicants and third country nationals.
Do red scare politics now, sir.
Addition,
what are you doing now?
The intention is to have additional flights out this morning. There's obviously going to be operational updates that will be provided on a regular basis by the Department of Defense. But as you saw them,
motherfucker said nothing like World War II. Okay, it's exactly like Vietnam. So it's like covering the end of Vietnam. Except it's worse than Vietnam because we've been there for 20 fucking years. And also, the forces that we left behind buckled in 72 hours. At least the South Vietnamese formation that we left behind stood, stood against the North Vietnamese for like, what, 2 years, 3 years? These motherfuckers couldn't withstand a week.
Ways that mayors across the country can work closely with state and local courts to set up eviction diversion programs in their city. This meeting is just the latest in our efforts to communicate and work with local officials to ensure we're getting assistance out to keep people in their homes. I know we've been here a while, but I know there are lots of topics out there. Go ahead, Josh.
Thanks, Jen. With regard to the booster shots, how many shots does the U.S. have available for boosters? And will supplying boosters have any impact on U.S. vaccine donations around the world?
So let me first note that tomorrow the COVID-19 team and our health and medical experts will host a briefing and we'll discuss next steps as it relates to boosters. I would also note for your planning that you can expect to hear from the president on this topic as well following their briefing. So I will leave it to them to provide additional details and to answer what I know are your good questions about data and an understanding of what leads to decisions along those lines. On the supply component of that, I'm sure.
Okay, this is like boring COVID booster shit, except we're gonna listen to this Danish guy. I'm not American, I'm Danish, but I know for a fact you don't have anything to back the shit you are saying. These are both articles saying it's bullshit and vice versa. How do you know the shit you are reading is 100% the truth? It's called the profit motive. Navy SEALs that oftentimes talk about their exploits from the Middle East and other missions that they're involved in are usually doing it because they have everything to gain by lying and absolutely nothing to lose by saying what the truth is, because most of the stuff that they work on is classified. So ultimately, they want to make money. That's precisely why they lie very routinely. As a matter of fact, Chris Kyle was sued successfully by famous ex-wrestler, Green Party member, and also I think, Governor Jesse Ventura. And even after Chris Kyle died, Jesse Ventura successfully sued his wife for lying about fighting Jesse Ventura. Chris Kyle also lied about shooting black looters in the aftermath of Katrina. Perhaps if you're from some Daneland, you should focus more on your own history and let someone who knows more than you talk about the American Navy SEALs, okay? Dumbass fucking, watched a bunch of Joe Rogan episodes, so he's like, oh my god, like, I know more than you. I know more than you, I'm Danish.
10 months chat Pogo, love you Hasan. Howdy.
Anyway. Bro, why are you doing the accent that's racist people have now awoken? Oh yeah, of course. He won't stop. Legends say HasanAbi still talks in a Northern EU accent.
Hi.
Oh, always. I love doing that. Anyway. Joe Rogan is still cool, yeah, but sucks that he's anti-vax. Anyway, let's keep watching. What the fuck, whatever the fuck's going on here.
Expect that number to increase to 5,000 to 9,000 a day. Can you talk about what needs to happen between now and then to ramp the number up, and when you expect to hit it?
Sure, Weijun, it's a good question. I think what I had been referring to just a few minutes ago was the fact that our focus has been on securing not just the perimeter of the airport, but also operational capacity at the airport, which of course is a Department of Defense operation they're overseeing in coordination with the State Department. And so because we've had success in that regard, we are hopeful and expect to expedite additional flights out. So that was not the place where we were at this time yesterday. And given we've made progress in this regard, we are hopeful to increase the number of people, American citizens, SIV applicants, and others that.
One of my favorite things is when chatters like defend other chatters in precisely the most charitable way possible. Did that guy say you were wrong though? He legit just wanted to know how you knew what you called the truth. Feel a bit bad for him, not gonna lie. You only feel a bit bad for him because you yourself are probably a dumbass in a similar capacity to how that guy was a dumbass. Because that motherfucker didn't just like ask a normal question. He literally was calling me a weak individual and really, really sad. So why is it that you always end up like forgetting the parts where someone is incredibly combative when they're actually not simply asking questions? Because no one is ever simply asking questions, okay? But you're doing the exact same thing, bro. You act like you know it all. What a fucking American way to look at things. See? He's not even standing down after I explained to him why, there's a lot of motive for Navy SEALs to lie. There's also additional fucking information from people that they've worked with that disproves the theory. There's other American forces that there's like actual fucking American military members that also oftentimes discount and discredit the personal account heroism of Navy SEALs when they write books about it. A lot of the shit that they're doing is classified. So it's like, they have everything to gain from just like lying, because most of the other people that are still working are not going to go out and like say this is completely false. I gave you a motive. I gave you examples. I gave you all of the evidence you would need to recognize that this is wrong. The only thing that's motivating that person at this point is just like pure fucking idiocy. That's it. He came in here 21 minutes ago and is still fucking chirping it up about some of the worst hogs in this goddamn country. Some of the biggest like liars.
Finally, our sub baby is born. What should we name it? Poggies.
and people who are on the ground in Afghanistan. And what our effort is now is focused on moving as many people out as we can from the country. But I would also note and reiterate to anyone who's a critic that any president has to make difficult choices as commander-in-chief, as Jake Sullivan just said. And the president made the choice that he was not going to ask U.S. men and women, servicemen and women, to fight a war that the Afghans were not willing to fight for themselves. It does not mean there aren't going to be impacts that are gut-wrenching, that are heart-wrenching, that we're all watching transpire over the last couple of days. But these are the difficult choices you have to make as commander-in-chief, and that's the choice he made.
And does he still have confidence in his intelligence teams?
He certainly does. He works in lockstep, and he's been briefed on a regular basis, as Jake just outlined, multiple times a day sometimes, by members of his national security team, and we're working in close coordination to get the job done each day. Go ahead.
Sort of follow up on Caitlin's questions about criticism from people who are your allies or your friends. David Axelrod has called you the best press secretary in his lifetime, I think.
My mom would like that.
Okay. But he's also said that the events of the last weekend are, this is paraphrasing here, but indefensible, I think. He said you can't defend them. And he has...
Yeah, whatever. David Axelrod's a bitch, dude. Obabe fucking literally uninvited him from the birthday, dog. Who gives a fuck if he thinks Jen Psaki is like the greatest press secretary of all time? Let me just say something to you, okay? David Axelrod fell off, dude. The Hood watches... I don't know who they watch, but definitely not David Axelrod, okay? He fucking fell off. Obabe gave him the cut, dude. Can you imagine? Can you imagine getting cut from the motherfucking Obama birthday bash, dude? You can't even, like, stand around Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. Like, what's the reason you did this for your whole career? If your main man won't even let you hang out with, like, all of the fucking famous people. That's crazy. The Hood watches Nicole
Photos, you referred to some of them, Mike. The president stands by his decision because he knows it's in the interest of the United States.
You didn't even get invited, L Nerd? Yeah, because, like, I criticized the drone stuff, you know, a lot. I criticized Obama a lot, and he didn't like that. That's why he was like, Hasan, normally I would like to welcome Islamic presence. As you know, I am a Kenyan Muslim. In truth, inshallah, brother, one day I will be able to come out. But for the time being, you spoke not so highly of my drone striking operations, and that's why you will not get invited. That's what he said. Swear, dude.
So are members of his team. And what you have to always make the decisions based on is what's in the interest of the American people. Go ahead.
Does the president believe that his orders were executed as intended? In these past couple of days, obviously those images that we've all seen, I mean, is he assessing blame at all for that? And is he does he feel like he ordered the military to do certain things and they did it as intended?
Well, his order was to deploy additional middle...
Dude, Obama cut David Axelrod worse than Ludwig cut me out of all of the videos that I've ever appeared in on his channel.
HIV applicants and others safely out of the country, some to the United States, and to help our partners and allies around the world as well. We are effectively doing that. And the photos we're seeing of chaotic moments, no doubt, at the airport are of many Afghans who want to get out of the country. We certainly understand that as well. And as Jake just said, when you're at a point where things are happening more quickly than anyone would have anticipated, not just people in this White House, but certainly people in Afghanistan, people in the international community, probably people in Congress, then you're going to have some chaotic scenes. But the president is confident in his national security team and their ability to get the mission done and get the mission accomplished. And as I just noted earlier, right now, the airport is...
Yeah, mission accomplished. Like, 7 civilians died. I guess they were firing warning shots into the air, not realizing that some of those bullets come back down, of course. We don't know exactly how those 7 civilians died. On the ground, eyewitness reports say that, the American military fire is the reason for why they died. But hey, mission accomplished, boys. Let me just say a couple things, okay? That instance of like 7 people dying at the Kabul airport when the Taliban have already allowed civilians to fucking escape if they want to because they're political dissidents. Who gives a fuck? It's great for them. You know what I mean? They have full control and they're letting the political dissidents leave on their own volition. Awesome, right? For the Taliban. Like, and then the American military comes in and locks up the fucking the airport, shoots a bunch of civilians that are trying to escape. Okay? And then you watch the ones that do get past that military guarded gates cling on to the goddamn tires of fucking planes. Like, that's how desperate they are to escape. Okay? Like, they're like, I would rather take a chance with physics than actually, you know, take a chance with the Taliban. Like, that's how desperate some of these dudes were to leave. And we're looking at this. We're looking at the situation and going like, we did great. Great job. Like, great job so far. Why haven't we been facilitating an expedited asylum program for the past month? You knew this was coming.
As high.
Somebody said they didn't shoot. Who's right? Did they shoot them or not? Bro, there's literally video footage. What the fuck are you talking about? And even the passive tone, neutral Western media, when they're covering it, they say the U.S. troops fired warning shots. Yeah, I saw that dog on the plane too. Yeah.
Can anybody hear me? Please help me.
I don't know what that is. Like, I don't know what was going on there. Like,
too large for the vent. Sedge, please help me. Can anyone get me out from this vent? Hello? Ajan?
Did you see the news that planes landed in Qatar had human remains in the airplane tires? Yes, I did see that. Someone actually DM'd me that shit, saying that like human remains were still. You're acting like they shot them point blank. Wait, what? Bro, dude. I hope you have a similar situation in your life where you and your family are both in a similar dire situation where, like, you know, that's the only fucking way that you can escape. And then someone literally shoots, like, fires, warning rounds above your head. And then that round fucking falls on you then in a video game, of course, so that you can comprehend how devastating and how inhumane that situation is. Because I don't think there's any other way you will personally recognize the situation at hand. That's such a psychotic fucking take, dude. Bro, you're acting like they were executing them point blank. Oh, so it's not a big deal then when they fucking got murdered, ultimately. Never mind. So sorry. I apologize for that, okay? I apologize for my dangerous rhetoric. The point is, the carelessness in which we deal with Afghan lives. We do not care about the sanctity of human life when they are brown, okay? Especially when they're brown and Muslim, okay? Do you comprehend that? That's the point I'm trying to make. It is a perfect analogy. Both the media coverage of the 7 people that fucking died, both the media coverage of the 7 people that died, and also the American military's involvement in the situation, and now the subsequent victim blaming coming from, like, you know, the bootlickers, dick suckers of the American military coming in here and being like, dude, there was no other way to deal with this situation. Like, whatever, bro. What the fuck? That's all wrapped up in the same kind of idiotic fervor that the media whips you into a frenzy that justified the invasion of Afghanistan in the first place when we had no fucking business being there. This is precisely what I'm trying to educate you on. To stop thinking in this way, this binary thinking where you're just like, it's good. The brown people, they deserve to die sometimes. Like, this is unironically the opinion that so many of you have. It sucks.
Norway 11 months.
Okay. There could have been so much more death. 7 was very, very low. Oh, sick, dude. That's great. No, that's a wonderful fucking take, man. That's a wonderful take. I love when people do armchair, like, consultancy and talk to me about realpolitik from their fucking basement that they crawled out of, that they watch my Twitch stream on. I didn't realize. Do you work for the CIA? Is that why you're in here defending the Department of Defense? Like, what's happening? Are you doing it for free, you fucking dumb moron? Or is it your hatred for the Afghan people that you will then simultaneously act like you care about in an effort to justify permanent occupation? To say like that, you know, oh, I really care about the Afghan people. 7, not that big of a deal. 7 casualties, who gives a fuck?
Chatting.
That's what I'm saying, though, because you don't personally care. You literally do not care. And there is no better representation than your lack of care than to defend the American military's, like, final fucking moment where they shot at, in the vicinity of, in the direction of, or shot in the air and ended up fucking killing a bunch of goddamn Afghan civilians. You don't care. You don't care about them. You just don't. And to turn around and just being like, oh, well, you know, 7, it could have been worse.
Poop.
Okay, dude. Well, only 3,000. It could have been worse on 9/11 if they were fucking a little bit better at, like, hijacking planes. Like, that would never work. That's not an acceptable thing to say. You understand that, right? That's a ridiculous fucking thing to say. Hundreds of thousands of Afghan civilians fucking died so far, okay? That escalated under Donald Trump. Under Donald Trump, it escalated to a degree that it had not been at since the original fucking... I know there was a stampede too. Shut the fuck up.
We took a fat L plus we're old plus we're getting ratio.
7 equals 3,000, you right? No. Oh, really? So we're just going to look at pound for pound numbers then. How many Afghan civilians died in the past 20 years? Because the argument is how much you care about the sanctity of Afghan citizens, right? How many Afghan civilians died?
Yo.
Since the beginning of the fucking invasion, dude. Huh? How many, motherfucker? Talk to me about that. It doesn't matter. Look, literally, in the past 20 years, 12,000 American military members died, okay? It's like, you don't give a fuck about the numbers as far as, you know, brown people. Let's be real. Let's be honest with one another. You are a dumb American Western hog, ultimately. It doesn't matter if you're a liberal. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican. Like, you want to feel better about yourself by saying, like, oh, I'm going to pat myself on the back here. I really do care about the, you know, Afghan women. That's why we need to keep doing, like, you know, military occupation. No, you're just ultimately, you cannot shed yourself of the American imperialist mindset, the conquest attitude that you have, because you're a fucking hog deep down inside. You are fearful that, like, other countries might come out and get you, or might actually threaten your hegemony, okay? Your position in the world as the world leaders of the world police. Deep down inside, it makes you feel good that you're doing a little bit of colonization. Not you personally. You're just eating your treats. You're a treat boy. You're fucking, you know, going to Applebee's and having $5 jalapeno poppers with your other fucking pathetic loser friends, while all of those other fucking 18-year-olds are dying out there, getting their dicks blown off, getting their shit pushed in by some fucking dudes wearing flip-flops, using guns that they got the last time around when they were fighting against the USSR, okay? You know, you're getting fucking beamed by goddamn batteries that they picked out of the trash at a fucking forward operating base, okay? But it's great. That's happening, and it should keep happening because it makes you feel good. So whenever there's someone that says to you, no, that's actually unacceptable, and what the media is telling you with respect to, like, you know, helping the Afghan citizens as this, like, civilizing force of imperialism is a complete fucking fabrication of falsehood, a lie. Here are the facts. You still turn around and you're like, only 7 people died last night. Come on, what are we doing? You don't care about the Afghan people. You've never cared about the Afghan people. You care about not being embarrassed. You care about the American superpower not being embarrassed. And it's a natural feeling to have. Ultimately, you will be able to fight back against it, push back against it, finally, through some critical thinking, be able to no longer feel that way, because you don't have to feel that way. You don't have to defend America and constantly fucking be like, oh, well, there must be a reason for why we should keep, you know, we should keep doing this. Like, we should just keep doing permanent occupation. Okay? There isn't. You don't have to fucking defend them. As a matter of fact, most Americans don't give a fuck. Okay? Most Americans have checked out of our imperial efforts in Afghanistan. A lot of you are, unfortunately, bi-coastal elites, neats, living in your fucking mother's basement, not really working. You're hyper-focused on the news. It comes with the territory. You're on Twitch. You're watching me. That makes sense. So you are, like, tapped the fuck in. Most average Americans don't even give a fuck, okay? They don't. They don't. We lost the war in Afghanistan. They don't want to fucking, they don't understand why we're spending millions and millions and millions of fucking dollars a day just to stay there. And Joe Biden did the goddamn right thing. Stop fucking defending American imperialism by trying to appeal to the fucking humanity of Afghanistan, the citizens of Afghanistan that you don't give a fuck about. I'm sick and tired of this bullshit, dude. What are you, do you work for fucking Lockheed Martin PR? Like, what? Why are you in here literally repeating State Department propaganda points? Like, you're doing it for free. You fucking pathetic r/neoliberal Reddit browsing loser. You get your fucking talking points and you sound like Ben Shapiro in here. God damn, dude.
Howdy.
Okay. But the thing is that people believe you don't condemn bad leaders like Maduro. What the fuck? I condemn Maduro all the time. And also, Taliban is dog shit. Do not compare either of those to fucking Cuba. Shut the fuck up. And I've never been a fucking fan of the Taliban or supported the Taliban. I get it. U.S. had to pull out, but what is the future of Afghanistan and how can it be made better as a neighbor of Afghanistan, India? Yeah, don't worry. We're going to fucking have a conversation with some Afghans in a little bit, okay?